I'm following here in the YouTube just to see how it's going in the another screen, in the autre écran.
Okay, perfect.
OK. À 32 minutes, que le streaming prend beaucoup de temps. Okay, we are online. Welcome, guys, and thank you for accepting my invitation today for the webinar. Today we're going to start, guys, a different way. We're going to have a presentation, and we're going to have Gabriel, Cyril, and Charles. Charles and Cyril from Montreal International, and Gabriel from Aztec, Canada. We're going to start a presentation. Oh, Rodrigo is over there. Hi, Rodrigo. And we're going to start this webinar with a presentation of Montreal International, and they are going to answer some questions that you are going to answer, okay? Bonjour, et merci pour tout l'aider. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Laurent. Cyril, do you want me to share the screen so you can start the presentation?
Perfect, go ahead.
Okay, let's roll.
Olá a todos, tudo bem? Bueno, é prazer estar aqui com vocês. Muito obrigada a Juan pela oportunidade, pelo convite. Vou fazer a introdução em português e depois mudaremos para inglês. Meu nome é Cyril. Estou aqui com meu colega Carlos. Trabalhamos na equipe de atração de talentos internacionais na Montreal International, a agência de promoção econômica da Grande Montreal. Nosso objetivo é promover a área metropolitana como destino de escolha para viver, trabalhar e migrar para trabalhadores internacionais. Conectamos esses trabalhadores qualificados e experientes às empresas da Grande Montreal. E essas iniciativas são possíveis graças ao apoio do governo do Quebec. So now let's switch in English. It's over for Portuguese, but that's a good practice for me. So our motto is Montreal, great job, great living. So Charles first is going to present the job part, and then I will present you the quality of life that we've got in Montreal. So Charles, go ahead.
Okay, thanks Cyril for the intro, and sorry my Portuguese is not as good as the one of Cyril. I'm really sorry about that, but so yeah, first of all, I will explain to you what's Montreal, give you a little bit of a context about Montreal, the city, and then I'll give you some more info about the work and the economy of Montreal, and then Cyril will talk to you about the quality of life. So let's roll. So first of all, just to give you a little context, Montreal, it's the economic capital of the province of Quebec. The province of Quebec is the French province in Canada. So little number. So there's 37 million people in Canada, about 8.5 million in the province of Quebec, and more than half of them are in Montreal. And it's really the economic capital of the province. And a good stat is that more than 23% of the people are born outside of Montreal. So it's a pretty international city. And good thing about the economy, it's for the past 2 years, so in 2019 and 2018, it was the city in Canada with the best growth. So it's a really booming city in Canada. So that's why there's a lot of opportunity for you guys if you want to work in Montreal. So the economy is booming. All those stats, it was prior of the COVID situation. So we don't know yet what's going to happen with all this COVID and this coronavirus. But I'll give you the info about the situation before the COVID. So and on the geographical point of view, it's pretty close to Toronto, Boston, and New York. As you can see on the right part of the of the. Oh, are you seeing my PowerPoint? Oh, this way, right? It's better.
Yeah, full screen.
Full screen.
That's perfect.
You see it?
Ouais.
Oh, what plein écran.
Perfecto.
Muy bien. Muito bon. Okay, perfect. So as you can see, it's pretty close to Toronto, Boston, and New York. So it's just 1 hour of car to go to the border with the USA. So we're pretty close to the USA. And in terms of transportation, there's an international airport, and good news, there's a direct flight to São Paulo. So it's pretty good for you if you want to go back to Brazil to see your family. It's a direct flight, so it's pretty nice. And in terms of transportation in Montreal, there's a big subway, and there's a lot of bus lines, so it's quite easy. You don't need a car to live in Montreal. You can easily be connected by the public transit, and it's quite cheap too. So that's a good thing about Montreal. It's the public transportation. And another good thing, I know that we don't have the summer of we don't have the Brazilian summer, but when it's the weather is great, we have a good cycling city, and it's the best one in North America. So it's quite easy to move by bike in the city. So it's good for the leg, it's good for the health, and it's quite fast if we compare to the public and public transit and everything. So about the language. So as I said earlier, Montreal is in the French province of Quebec. So it's sure that most of people speak French. But a good thing is it's the most bilingual and then the most trilingual in Canada. So more than 55% of people are bilingual, so they can speak both French and English. And there's almost 1 people on 5 who can speak at least 3 languages. So that's pretty impressive. As you can see with my colleague Cyrielle, she's fluent in Spanish and French and English, and she's getting better and better in Portuguese too. So that's very nice. And just to give you an idea, in Montreal, there's 4,000 people from Brazil, and there's more than 30,000 people who can speak Portuguese. So maybe if you're lucky, you can order your coffee in Portuguese in the morning. So yeah, there's a huge Portuguese community, and as I said, 4,000 Brazilian people. It's quite nice. So maybe you can watch a Flamengo game or a Grêmio game with people in the bar. So yeah, and just to give you hints about the university. So it's the capital of a university in Canada, and it's one of the best city in North America to study. Actually, it's the first one in front of Boston, Toronto, Vancouver, and New York. So it's quite impressive. And you will see later on, there's a big impact in the economic context of Montreal, because there's a lot of university, and it's pretty good for the research and artificial intelligence, engineer, IT, gaming. So for your family, even for you, if you want to go back to university, once you're in Montreal, there's more than 11 university and more than 60 college. So it's a real good study city. So now I'll give you more info about the economic of Montreal. So as I told you earlier, it's one of the biggest hub in artificial intelligence because of the University of Montreal and the University of McGill. And the Yoshua Bengio is one of the best researcher in deep learning and machine learning. So that explains why we're the first in terms of researcher and AI in the world. So it's a pretty good stat line right there. And in terms of the gaming industry, we're 5th in the world. So it started with Ubisoft in 1997, and then there's a lot of gaming studios who invest in Montreal, and now there's a lot of indie studios too. Also, we have a lot of we're the first city in Canada for the visual art. So we do a lot of post production of the movie. So it's pretty close to the gaming. There's some tech that they're using both of the industry. and we're second in terms of aerospace in North America. So this is the highlight of the economy in Montreal. So as you can see, there's in IT, there's more than 100,000 jobs and more than 5,000 enterprise. So there's a lot of opportunity for you. And there's most of our clients that we work with are in IT. So when we go abroad to recruit people, most of them are in IT, gaming, AI, and they're looking for a Java developer and developer. So yes, and one of the reasons why there's a lot of IT company in Montreal is because of the operation cost, and the operation costs are very low because of the real estate is cheap, and there's a lot of help from the government, so subsidies and fiscal break. So as you can see here, in the past 5 years, the AI sector is booming in Montreal. So IBM, Google, Samsung. So there's a lot of big company who open AI lab in Montreal. So that's why there's a lot of jobs in data science, deep learning researcher. About the video game industry. So as I said before, we're fifth in the world. So we have a lot of big studios like Ubisoft, AI, Warner Bros. So we did, I don't know if some of you are gamers, but we did most of the Assassin's Creed series, the Batman Origin with Warner Bros, Aztec, and we work a little bit on FIFA. I know that it's more in Vancouver, but we do some work on FIFA too with EA. And there's more than 15,000 people, so there's a lot of jobs in the gaming industry. And it's sure that the main reason why it's the big credit fiscal break that the company have, they have more than 38% of the salaries are reimbursed by the government. So that explains why there's a lot of gaming studios in Montreal. So yes, there is a lot of big company. There's university if you want to do research, but there's also a big startup ecosystem, and that's coming from the university, because most of the university have accelerators and incubators to make like match with their engineer and business students. So there's a lot of startup in Montreal, a lot of accelerators. And the government in the past year invest a lot in the startups. So if you want to start your own company in IT or in tech, you can have a lot of subsidies too in the startup ecosystem in Montreal. So a good thing about not only in Montreal but in Canada is there's a low hierarchical distance in the company. So you're pretty close to your manager, to your director. So it's quite easy to grow in the company. And most of the company invest more in talent than years of experience. So even though you work in the company for 2 or 3 years, if you have good ideas, you can grow in the company, even if you're not working there for the past 20 years like a colleague. So that's nice. And just to give you an example with this, I used to work in France in a bank, and I worked too in Montreal in the bank, and it was two complete different contexts. For example, in France, if I want to speak to the director, I have to go through the manager, and it was very tough to have a relation with the director or a VP. But in Montreal, you can be really close to a VP, and you can talk to him almost like a friend. So it's quite easy to grow in a company. So that's a good thing about in Canada. And so just to give you an idea about like what's in general a week of work in Montreal, it's around 40 hours. So usually it's 9 to 5. It's a normal day, 9 to 5, and there's an obligation for a company to give you 2 weeks of holiday per year. But it's sure that in IT there's better condition than the usually work, so you can have better condition than this. But usually it's 40 hours per week, 9 to 5, and you can have 52 weeks for leaves for if you have a children. So that's quite good. And with the COVID and the coronavirus, companies are getting more and more open for the working from home, so it's more and more flexible. So that's quite nice. And also, last thing, it's a pretty inclusive society. So there's a lot of women in the company, and there's it's quite easy for the LGBT society. So yeah. So I'll give the mic to Cyrielle, and she will do the presentation in Portuguese.
No.
No.
I will continue in English right now. Later, maybe in Portuguese. So yeah, now I'm going to talk about the quality of life we've got in Montreal. So as you can see on this slide, there are we've got many good rankings in Montreal. So for example, in 2018, it was designated the most affordable major city in Canada and the US. In 2019, the best city in Canada and sixth in the world. And more recently, in 2020, best city in the Americas for its quality of life. So, in fact, the city recently obtained the ranking at the best city for millennials. So it's based on the fact that we've got many festivals, cultural festivals, music festivals, etc. in Montreal. There is gender equality. There is no difference between men and women. And also, people are really open-minded about welcoming immigrants and international people. In addition, just if you can come back. Thank you. In addition, we've got a good health system. In fact, there is a universal free health system, which is called Régie d'assurance maladie du Québec, RAMQ. And concerning education, also, it's a free public school until high school. Considering universities, as Charles mentioned before, the costs are very low in North America. In general, we talk about an average of 15,000 Canadian dollars for a year, a university year, and you can get subsidies to help you in your studies, and you can work in the meantime to finance your studies. And to finish on this slide, also, so you can see that we've got many cultural activities in Montreal. Of course, well, this summer right now it's a bit complicated because of the situation. But there are more than 100 festivals and 70 museums. So all year long, you can go to festivals, museums. There is circus. There is a Francophonie, Festival International de Jazz, Oceaga, many different things. It's a vibrant city. Also, here you've got something really interesting. In fact, you can do many different activities all year long in Quebec and in Montreal. So this is an average of the daily temperatures we've got in Montreal. So of course, it can be colder sometimes, minus 20, 30 in full winter, but it can be also a bit warmer. So in fact, in July and August, sometimes we can raise like 30, 35 degrees. Like there is a huge difference. But what's nice is that all seasons are very different. So now we are going to see the kind of activities you can do, for example, in Montreal. So in spring, it's well known for the sugar shacks because it's a time of maple syrup and stuff. So you can go with friends and families in sugar shacks to eat specific Quebec dishes done with maple. It's very nice. You can also visit museums, see Montreal Impact, the favorite teams of Charles play soccer. And you could have also a brunch with friends. There are many brunch of Montreal. Like I think every weekend I go to a brunch with friends. Also, During summertime, you could go to festival. We've got a rich architecture. It's a kind of mix between European and American style, so it's very cool. You can also do a lot of water sports on the St. Lawrence River. You can see here there is a guy who is surfing. In fact, we've got like a permanent wave on St. Lawrence River, so there are many surfers that are practicing here. You could go to La Ronde, that is an amusement park that you can see when you arrive in Montreal over the bridge. And you could see also the Alouettes, the team, the famous Montreal team to play football. Now let's go to autumn. So we've got beautiful color during this season. You could go to craft breweries, pick some apples with your family in an orchard. Also go hiking in large parks, because we've got many parks around Montreal. And there is a famous festival of Chinese lanterns in the botanical garden that is very nice. And to finish, during winter, so in general, people are really afraid about this season, but you have to play with winter. So we can do ice skating or snowshoeing. Also, there are many ski slopes around Montreal. There is a famous art exhibition that is called Art Souterrain. There is also a music festival that is called Igloo Fest, so it's pretty funny because it can be -20 and people are like dancing on electronic music. So that's a really distinctive festival. Another famous activity is going to the Nordic Spa, so it's really relaxed and you can enjoy a nice atmosphere. And of course, to finish, last but not least, you could see the Canadiens, so the famous hockey team to play in Montreal. So you can see there are plenty of things to do, and what is also very nice in Montreal, that is a safe city. So in fact, Montreal has a really low homicide rate, as you can see on this graph. You can walk with total peace of mind during day and night. For women, there's no problem, so it's very nice to settle in the city with your family as well. So there are very good neighborhoods. Also, that is a very green city. So you can see on these pictures there is the emblematic Mont Royal. So that's an emblematic hill in the city. So inside the city there are like about 20 big parks. And there are many different little parks in the districts in Montreal, and also you are very close to big national parks. So like Parc du Mont-Tremblant, Parc de Plaisance, Parc d'Oka, etc. It's like maybe 30 or an hour driving outside the city. So it's very nice if you want to do some hiking and canoeing, etc. So now the last part, I'm going to talk about the cost of living in Montreal. You will see that it's a very affordable city compared to other metropolises in North America. So we've got a nice quality of life, a good purchasing power here due to affordable rents, generous family allowances, low-cost private medical insurance, and inexpensive daycare centers. So now, if you can switch, Charles. Yeah. So now I'm going to talk about the rental rates. So we've got the lowest rental rates compared to other metropolises in North America, as you can see. In general, we talk about maybe an average of 900, 1,000 Canadian dollars to have a 2-bedroom apartment on the island of Montreal. Of course, it will depend on the neighborhood, it will depend on the district where you're located compared to the city center, etc. But that's a good average. And one day, if you want to access property, if you want to buy a house, that's also a really affordable city compared to other big Canadian cities like Toronto or Vancouver. Here on this slide, you can see that for an apartment, there is an average of about 280,000 Canadian dollars. And to buy a house, it's more about like 370,000 Canadian dollars. So now if you can, yeah. And just to talk about the childcare costs, if you want to move with your family, we also have the lowest monthly childcare cost in Canada. In fact, it's because we've got tax credits from the Canadian government. And also, if you go to the public system, so what we call the Centre de Petite Enfance, CPE, there is an average of $8 per day for the daycare. And of course, it can be a bit more if you have a higher income, but it's really generous. And just to finish on this part, we're going to show you a short video of Montreal, just for you if you want to get a bit more familiar with the city. I would be curious to know how many of you have ever been to Montreal.
Can I start it?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
And can you put the sound on?
Yeah, you need to put the sound.
Charles?
You don't hear the sound?
No.
No.
Okay. Just give me one moment. I'll try to share the sound.
Yeah.
I think this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it working?
No.
Gosh.
En bas à droite de la slide, non?
Non, parce que je l'entends, moi.
Otherwise, you will just have the pictures of Montreal with no sound. We will comment the pictures.
Tu peux m'envoyer, s'il vous plaît, et je peux essayer. Qu'est-ce que tu penses?
On a-tu le lien?
Non, elle est pas sur YouTube, je crois, celle-là.
OK. Bon, ça va être pour le
Yeah, we are gonna comment.
Peraí, attends une minute. Vocês podem ouvir, pessoal? Attends une minute.
Vidéo max. Oh, c'est pas grave, t'inquiète pas. So this is the Igloo Fest. As I told you, people dancing on electro music. Here you can see the light festival during winter time. So as I mentioned before, we like to play with winter, and now spring is coming back, and so people are like going out on parks, doing picnics, etc. It's very lively. Here you've got another music festival. That's Palais des Congrès. Here you've got the Port of Montreal with downtown. This is Pont Champlain, Pont Jacques-Cartier. Sorry. The Gay Pride.
Il y en a pas cette année.
Now you can see the colors during fall. That's beautiful. You have like trees, orange, red, yellow, etc. It's very, very specific to Quebec. Here's the Canadians playing hockey. We've got also a good gastronomy here in Montreal, a good food scene. I know it's very important in many countries to have specificities, but here you have many different cultures. If you want to eat a feijoada or something else, you could find it in Montreal, in fact. Here it is.
Stop. There you go. Sorry about the sound, guy.
Charles, you want to maybe to go to Talent Montreal, to our website?
Do you have time, Juan, to show the website?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, perfect. So once again, I'm gonna share my screen. So do you see it? Do you see the website, Juan and Cyril?
Hold on. Yeah.
Yeah, here it is.
There you go. So if you want more info about Montreal, not only the cost of living and the quality of life, but also the job market, we have a website which is called Talent Montreal. It's a brand new website. And not only you can get the info, but you can also create a profile and apply to some jobs. You have to know all of the company who will post job in this website. It's company who are willing to hire internationally. So it's all company who are used to it, to do the visa and everything. So it's company who are looking to recruit abroad. So as you can see, you can have some info about living, working in Montreal, and to move. And here is the section where you can see the jobs. For the moment, because of the COVID, most of the company in Montreal and in Canada stop hiring people. But I'm sure that as soon as the economy will start again, there will be more job in here. And also we do a lot of recruitment events all around the world, Cyril and me with Talent Montreal. And nowadays with the COVID, we'll switch more on virtual recruitment events. So instead of going on site, we'll do most of our event virtually. So if you are interested to move to Montreal, I strongly recommend you to create a profile, and you will get info about our next event. So I know that in the month of November, we'll do a big virtual job fair, and there will be a lot of job in IT, and all around the world and all year long, there will be job too on the website. And there's also testimony. So, and I think that there's one testimony from a guy from São Paulo, Guilherme.
Guilherme is from Rio Grande do Sul.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that.
Yeah, he's our friend.
So yeah, Guilherme did a testimony. It's a really good one. So if you're curious, you can watch it. It's well made. And there's other testimony from David, our friend from Colombia, French people. So it's very interesting. So I strongly recommend you to visit it and to create a profile. And you can also like our page on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook to have more info about our next event.
Yeah, in fact, considering Brazil, Charles and I travel a lot to organize recruitment trips in Latin America. And we already organized 4 recruitment missions in Brazil. We participated twice to the Developers Conference. And so that's how we got connected with the IT community over there. And companies here are really eager to hire Brazilian talent because there's a good fit between the Brazilian culture and the Quebec culture. So we really hope we can help you in the future, and you could meet like your future job in Montreal.
Yes, there's a really good reputation about the Brazilian talent and IT and gaming and everything. So I think, yes, there's a good reputation among the Montreal company. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Gabriel.
Guys, I'm going to just explain the dynamic for you. Now, Gabriel is going to do some presentation as well. In the end, we have some questions that people are doing that everybody can answer together. Okay?
Perfect.
Okay, hold on.
Can you hear me, Juan?
Yeah. Where's your t-shirt, boss?
I just came from my football practice for my son, so I only have one Aztec, so I don't want to Dirty it.
Okay.
Let me know when you want me to talk, Juan.
Okay, let me share the screen first. Hold on, just a second. Just a second.
Just to answer the last question, the URL of our website is talentmontreal.com.
Oh, I gotta put there.
Real easy.
Okay, the screen. Okay, my screen is right here, over there. Okay. How can I show this? No. Let me just do something. Does it move? And presentation. Okay.
You want me to share it, Juan? I can share it if you want.
Okay. I have two screens. Hold on. Do you want to share?
It's for you if you want me to.
Yeah, it's better for me. Oh, okay. Just need to. Okay.
It's working?
Yeah. Can you see it?
Perfect. Yes, I can see it. All right, so it's my turn?
Yeah.
Okay, so bonjour from my backyard. Sorry about just popping in right now. I was actually listening to our friends from Montreal International, but I had a little fun fact is my son has been selected to one of the Canadian football, not the soccer, but Canadian football, and today were their first practice after COVID. So I had to do a back and forth downtown Montreal. So sorry about this, but I was listening to you guys. So you sounded very good in my car. So for those who don't know me, my name is Gabriel Zaurini. I'm a general manager and shareholder of Aztec Canada here based in Montreal. And today, Rowan asked me to talk a bit about who we are, what we do, kind of the roles that we hire, and answer any type of question that you guys might have with our friends from Montreal International. So what I have a quick presentation, okay? The idea is not to spend 2 hours on our presentation. I slim it down a bit, but just to give you an idea of who we are. So you can skip two slides for me, please, Juan. Because I can't control yet. Again? All right, again. Okay, so rapidly, so Aztec, the group Aztec or Aztec Group has been around since '89. It was based out of in France, near Paris, so it's been growing since then, doing some acquisition. And in 2015, we call them our cousins from France wanted to expand in North America, and like any French, they decided to drop in Montreal and see if they could find a good company to partner with. So in 2015, I was a shareholder of a company called Via Consultant, and our friends from Aztec decided they like what they saw, and so we partnered together, and now we're called Aztec Canada. So we've been in Montreal since 1999, so over 20 years. Our offices are located in Old Montreal. I think it was Sayel that talked about Old Montreal. So, not to brag, but we do have beautiful offices and located in the older portion of Montreal. So we've been there for over 15 years. We also have offices, other city in Canada, smaller offices, mainly Halifax, and now soon maybe Toronto and Vancouver. But the bulk of our business is here in Montreal. If you look at history from Aztec, so right now those numbers are pre-COVID. Okay, so I'll have to put those caveat in. So please bear with me. But as you see, we're over about 4,500 employees in 15 countries. And we've been growing about 15 to 20% year over year. And so we're in a good spot. What we do is we do two things, and we'll talk a bit about our expertise in the coming pages. In Montreal, we're about 100 to 120, so we're growing every week. So right now we're about at 120. If you could show go on the next page, the next slide.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I said, we're about 4,500 pre-COVID. About in 16 countries now. I know we're in 15 because we closed one offices in Australia. And the numbers, the revenues, right, they're around 270 million euros. So a good company, well positioned, well entrenched in Montreal, and that's why today we're here and to talk about who we are, and we are looking for talent. We've been working with Montreal International for the last 5 years, so we've been I think a good partner, I think so, of our friends at Montreal International. So thank you for having us. You can switch. Yeah, okay. So like I said, 16 countries. You don't have 16 bubbles because we've consolidated them. But here in North America, we're about 120. So it's pretty simple. It's about 100 in Montreal, about 10 in Toronto, and about 10 to 20 in Boston. So that brings us to 120. So as you see, we operate a lot out of Montreal. France is where we have the bulk of our employee. They have a bit of a rough time right now. So we're lucky to be here in Canada because we're pretty lucky in our business. So far, so good. Keep on going, Rohan. Next one. That is at the group level. Okay, so you see at the group level, they have 20% of their business. We have 20% of our business in the leisure and travel. That is mainly France, but we're well diversified at a group level. Here in Montreal, to be honest, we're much more concentrated in the banking, finance, insurance industry, in the food retail, and also in para-gouvernemental. So, example, the local public transportation. I think it was Charles that talked about our public transportation. So we have a lot of consultants involved in the main one, which is called EXO, which manages the public transportation here in Montreal. So at the group level, we're well diversified. Although right now they wish they didn't have too much in the travel and aerospace, but that's life. Here in Montreal, we're different. We're much more in the banking and the financial sector. You can keep on going, Rohan. Like I said, what we do, our revenues come from two main area. We have the consulting portion, which is on your left, and we have the engineering portion, which is on your right. So the IT portion of consulting is about 55%, whereas the engineering is about 45%. So it's almost the same thing. That's at the group level. In Montreal, we are 100% IT. Example, our friend Rohan is a Java developer working in a banking client of ours, and so we do mainly IT. We don't do engineering here in Montreal, but at the group level, we do F&F. Rohan. Expertise. I'll go through this because I think it's important, but I'll spend a bit more emphasis on two or three of those bullets. So we have 5 service lines. The first one we've talked about is everything to do with IT and the digital world. That is mainly what we do here in Montreal. Okay, so in Montreal, we're involved in a lot of digital, a lot of what we call automation, a lot of electronic content type projects. So it has to do with moving from a manual process to a much more integrated, automated. So that's called the IT and digital. So that's what we do in Montreal a lot. We also do the bubble right in the middle, which is called the service line, which is called data and the AI. So as you know, and I think it was CL that talked about it, is that Montreal is a hub in AI. We do have many clients. I don't like the word AI per se. I call it more advanced analytics. So we do machine learning, deep learning, Python, and neural network also. So a lot of our clients are looking for those types of resources. And the last thing we do is it's a smart system. Smart system is mainly IoT, so Internet of Things. It is not something we do a lot, but we do. We have a few projects, mainly in the rural Quebec, with our farmers to help them maximize their agriculture. We do not do cybersecurity here in Montreal, and also in engineering, which I'll talk to you about. So what I want you to learn here is kind of what our expertise is, mainly around IT and advanced analytics. Yeah, Rowan. I think you can skip all this.
Okay.
I mean, it's just getting into the details of what everything is. So yeah, let me summarize, and I'll talk to you about what we do before we do the summary. I'll talk to you about Montreal. Over the last 5 years, 6 years, we've hired over 60 resources from outside of Canada. Okay, that's even outside of Quebec, right? So Quebec being in Canada. We've hired, of course, from France at the beginning, and then we got confident. Then Belgium. Then we got confident. Then we went into Morocco, Tunisia, and then we found a guy called Rowan, and we fell in love with Rowan. And then Rowan brought with him Abrao. So now we have 2 Brazilian, and we're pretty happy. We're actually not pretty. We're very happy with Rowan. The client is happy, and we can't wait to have Abrao coming in. Also, he's coming in October. I'm quite pleased with the level of the technical and of our folks in Brazil. But more importantly, I don't hire technical head. I hire soul, and I hire consultant. So what we look in our consultant for us is really 2 things. Is, of course, you need to have the minimum technical knowledge, right? Or else the clients pay for that. But over and above, we're consultants. So we're looking for resources that is not scared to learn. So the learning, the technical curiosity. I talk about Rowan because I had the chance to interact with him, and Rowan by himself wrote, I think, a book, or you did some article on API and microservices. So that's an example of the type of resources that we're looking for. So we call that technical curiosity. And the second thing that we're looking for, our skills, is mainly around empathy, being able to understand what your client talk about, being able to put yourself in the shoes of your client. It's in French, it's a beautiful word called empathie. It's the same thing in English. So that's what we're looking for in a consultant that we bring from abroad. So today, my objective was really to talk to you about, who we are, what we do, how that we are experienced in hiring abroad, and lastly, what kind of skills that we need, right? So what kind of personality? So being curious, and we know how to measure the curious and the empathy level, or the your human side, which is for me very, very important. I'm almost done. I talk a lot. I'm French, so I could keep on talking until tomorrow morning if I wanted to. What we hire, right? So I told you who we are. I told you about what we're looking for, but I didn't tell you what we're looking for. So what we're looking for, to be honest, is really around 3 key things. If you are a Java developer, backend or front end, okay, well, front end is less than Java, but the backend, yes. If you are a C#.NET, absolutely yes. If you know Python, if you know deep learning, machine learning, yes. If you know SAP, because we do have a big SAP practice also, ERP, those are kind of things that we're looking for. This is other company look for other things. We look for that. We've chose to be the best in Montreal, with the best resources. So in those niche. So if you're one of those, well, we will be looking, and we will be looking for next year. Okay, the pipeline is already full for this year, but for next year, we're going to be looking at hiring many positions. So I know I talked a lot. I've been talking for 20 minutes, so now I'm going to go and have a little glass of wine. But I'm here to answer questions. If you guys have questions, and if our friends from Montreal International or Juan can't answer, it'll be my pleasure to play back up and answer the questions from the crowd. One last thing also, Ciel, that you forgot to mention is we have a Formula One in Montreal. We have one of the best and the most watched Formula One. And actually, fun fact is when I was interviewing Rohan, I asked him a question about Formula One, and he could answer. And the question was, who was the best Formula One driver? And I thought he would please me and say Jacques Villeneuve, but he said it's a guy called Ayrton Senna. So I gave him the job right away. So
wrong question, because I'm a huge fan of Ayrton Senna. I have like many toys of Ayrton Senna over here.
For the Formula One fan, the Montreal track is an absolute weekend. So anyway, I just wanted to share that little fun fact with you guys. So I'm going to shut up. And if there's any questions, it'll be my pleasure. You tell me, and I'll be able to answer if you guys can.
Let's organize like that. Ladies first. After Gabriel, after Charles, you can follow this flow. I'm going to put the questions here in the screen. Okay. And starting by
I can answer this, but it's only for I see the question from Fabiano, but I can answer from my own company. But I think Montreal International could also answer because they deal with multiple companies. So I'll let Montreal International talk first, answer, and then I'll supplement with my perspective.
You go, Charles, or I go first? Okay. So, well, thanks, Fabiano, for your question. In fact, as Charles mentioned, when he was showing you the website we've got, there are many job opportunities in the IT industry. So, of course, we're talking about developers, Java, .NET, etc. But there are also many opportunities for agile coaches and Scrum Masters. These kind of job offers are job offers we can see with all the different companies we're dealing with when we organize recruitment trips. So yeah, of course, that's the kind of jobs with what companies are doing international recruitment. I don't know, Charles, if you want to add something.
Maybe a point about this type of job, because you're in contact with the client usually. It depends on the company, but maybe you will have to master a certain level of French, because if the company is in consulting or anything and the teams is in French, maybe it's this type of job, because it's more human related. Maybe you have to get a certain level of French with this kind of job, more than like developers who can be more in the back of the room with coach and Scrum Master. Maybe it's a type of job that you need to master a little bit more the French. But you have plenty of time in front of you. Our next recruitment event, it will be in November or December. So you have plenty of times to practice on Duolingo and master your French.
And
if you allow me to supplement, yeah. So Fabiano, for sure, agile is the way to go. So most IT project, and now I've seen also in the engineering and even marketing. So the agile / Kanban approach is very much implanted. Charles is absolutely right. Because it is more of a soft skills, agile coach and Scrum is all about being able to talk and resolve problems so that the team can keep their velocity. There's a need to be a minimum of French. Charles mentioned it, but I would add also at the beginning a understanding of our culture. Why? We've hired a few Scrum Master, and unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of success. And we learned from that is the culture. You cannot resolve problem or communication in Brazil the same way that we would do here in Montreal. And it's the same thing if you take a Scrum Master from Montreal and you send him to Seattle. We're going to have some adjustment from understanding the culture and the way that we are. So yes, there's a lot of job. Yes, those are hot skills. There's learning French, and then there's really understanding our culture, which we're going to make you a successful Scrum Master in Montreal.
And to add something to that, I can see another question from Fernando about quality assurance. Well, in fact, for example, last time when we were doing an IT recruitment event in Brazil, we had more than 120 job positions to fill. And here are the main job families we had with companies in IT and video games. So they were game designers, gameplay programmers, Java developers, .NET developers, software developers, system engineering programmer, artists, QA architects, and others like, for example, machine learning or BI, etc. So here are, this can give you an insight about the job families we've got in the IT industry. So you can see that it's really, really complete, really large.
Okay, I put another question, and this I'm gonna give my deployment as well, because I would like to share my own experience as well. Okay, but yeah, can you start, Cyril? Always with you, ladies first.
About the question from Eric, I speak only English. Is it a problem to live in Montreal? Mm-hmm. Well, as Charles mentioned, Montreal is the most bilingual and trilingual city in Canada. And well, in fact, the province of Quebec is French speaking. It's the official language is French. But the specificity of Montreal is that it's really bilingual French and English. So of course, it will depend on the company in which you're working. It will depend on the culture of the company. Some are more French-speaking culture, and for some others, there's no problem. Like all the employees are really international. They all work in English. I can take, for example, the case of Ubisoft. They're like developing games. Their teams are really international, and they work in English all day long, so it's not a problem for them. But if you want to get more Quebec experience, to know more about their culture, etc., to integrate better, you will need to learn French. And if you want to stay longer in Quebec and to ask for your permanent residency, you will need to have an intermediate level like B2 of French. So it's important to take French lessons if you want to integrate, and most companies offer French lessons.
If I can add something about more the living side, not the working, but the living, there's some part of the island of Montreal which is mostly in English, and I can speak for myself. I live in the West Island, so
yeah,
it's
me too.
Everything is in English. So it's quite funny because even in Montreal, sometimes I have difficulties to speak in French because people are mostly in English. It really depends on the neighborhood in Montreal. And we have a lot of info about the neighborhood in our website that we present to you earlier. But yeah, like the West Island, the Westmount, which is more expensive, but yeah. And I think Rohan is living more in Hochelaga, which is mostly in French. So it really depends on the neighborhood about the living side.
C'est à côté du Parc Maisonneuve.
Exactly.
And if I can add, Eric, so we've talked about living, we've talked about the reality is the company. Cyril mentioned it, and Rohan, I want you to talk about your experience. Rohan learned it in about a year and a half, 2 years, and we provided some lesson right now that Rohan needs to go to school. He goes to French school, and from my standpoint, only a fully bilingual, unilingual person that limits the ability for me to be able to staff him in some of our companies. I'll give you an example. Some of the companies like Google, Microsoft, there's no problem, right? Everything's in English. Ubisoft, the big multinational, everything's in English. But there is a huge what do you call that segment of the business in Quebec that are French based. We call that the SMEs, right? The small and medium companies. Those guys, although sometimes they'll do the documentation in English, maybe the meeting will be in French. So that's where the French kicks in. But it is learnable. You guys speak Portuguese. It's a Latin language. So and Rowan's done it, and Abrao's done it, and we recruited from Mexico, and the guy from Mexico learned it. So yes, it's a bit of a workout, but it is an investment more than anything else. It's the ability to learn, and your kids will learn French, so you'll need to be able to understand what they say. So I see it as much more as an investment, and Rowan has done it, right? So it is totally feasible.
Yeah, and what happens that depends on which address they're going to live, which neighborhood. The daycare that we call over here garderie, it's sometimes hard to think about the daycare word like garderie. My son's going to the garderie, and the garderie, the teacher doesn't speak my son's teacher doesn't speak English, just French. And I need to go there because I faced some problems with him in the beginning because he's a little bit hard. He's a guy that's hard to eat something different, and here there are foods that are completely different from Brazil. And today I went there and I said he do the dodo. It's like sleep time, and he ate something and he's perfect right now. And she no this. Les garçons, c'est très bien. Les garçons, c'est très bien. And this is good because I can communicate and understand if I have some problems and if he went good in the garderie, and about your life in the contest. Because, for example, another thing, I have a problem with my laundry machine. Sometimes depends on the place that you're gonna call. The people don't speak English, just French, and you need to communicate. Okay, my laundry is not working. What I need to do depends. Some contracts that you're gonna sign is gonna be in French. Depends where you are buying some stuff. Okay, your days. French is important because you're in the province that is French, the official language. Okay, there's another one. What is that? How much would you easily consume from the average pay? I didn't get
it. Basically, that relates to income. I think it's a question from Enrique. So Enrique, I guess what you want to know is on the average pay, how much does the government keep, right? So Quebec, like Canada, has a very well structured society, right? Public school. I think Shao talked about the public school. We've got the university. We've got our infrastructure. I mean, Canada is about 5 times the size of Brazil from more than that from a geographic standpoint. So we have a lot of road. So all this needs to get paid. To be honest, we're usually, depending on your salary, right? It could range. From let's say a Java developer, intermediate, let's say, I would say probably in the range of 35 to 40%. I don't have the number by heart. It goes up maximum to 52% of your salary, but then you have all the benefit that goes with it. So we're at par with New York, very much so. So at the end of the day, what keeps in your pocket is very much in line with Massachusetts, Boston, and other states, and another province here in Canada. I don't know if that's what you were looking for, Enrique, but
even though the tax is pretty high in Canada and in the province of Quebec, the cost of living in Montreal as like an international city, it's so low that at the end of the month you have more money
in your
to
pocket.
travel and to invest in your apartment or house or anything. So
Yep.
at the end of the day, it's if you have a good salary in Montreal, you will live well.
Yeah, that's a good point, Charles. Our cost of living is much less. So what's kept in your pocket at the end is favorable, and what you get for it, right? So public school, library, transportation, university. So so yeah.
Okay, I have another one over here. How has been the average time to get the PR in Montreal for IT developers? Does the companies are supporting in terms of applying and providing the requirements documents? Do you want to answer first, Sired?
Yeah, well, in fact, I can share my experience as well as a French that recently immigrated to Quebec. So in my case, for example, I landed in Quebec in 2013. First, I had a temporary working permit of 1 year. Then I had to renew it. And in fact, after working for a year full time in the province of Quebec, you can ask for as a programme de l'expérience québécoise, so like Quebec Experience Program. So you have to understand that the immigration here has two levels. So there is a level of the province of Quebec, and there is a level of the federal government of Canada. So first you need to get your certificat de sélection du Québec, certificado de seleção de Québec, and it's very fast. So you've got it like within 20 days. And then you ask for your permanent residency, so at the level of the federal government of Canada. And well, when I did it, it lasted about a year to get it. But now I know that it's a bit more because it's more and more popular. More and more people ask for the permanent residency to stay in Canada. So we're talking about 2 years right now to get the PR. But if you want to if you want to stay here, there are many different tracks, and in the IT ecosystem, it's for this kind of jobs, like the local government needs people, so it's easier and it's encouraged for this kind of professions. And after that, if you want to stay even longer and ask for your Canadian citizenship, after 3 years of permanent residency, you can ask for the Canadian citizenship. So it's, of course, it takes time, and you need to spend some money, but it's a great track if you want to go to the end of the process. You can do it.
If I can add, because we do a lot of that, we do not support for the PR. That's a personal I guess,
choice.
Choice and endeavor. We do support from the moment that we do the offer to the time that the candidate arrives here in Montreal, and then we do also help with the CSQ, which is a status. So companies do help, not for the PR, but from your permit. We do. Not all the companies do it, but we do. So. Once we decided to hire someone, then we have a specialist in-house for international mobility that basically takes care of helping. Doesn't do it for the candidates, but tells the candidate what to do, how to do it. So it helps. But the PR will remain an endeavor from the employee, not the company.
If I can add about the PR, if you recruit through one of the company, which is client of Montreal International, we give courses about and presentation about the PR. So Montreal International as an organization. So it depends if you are recruited by one of the member of Montreal International, and it's pretty good course. And we also give courses to your girlfriend or husband or whatever about how to integrate the society, the work and everything. So we're trying to help you to stay in Montreal and Quebec. Yeah.
But in terms of immigration, if you have more specific question about that, as we are not advisors or lawyers in immigration, I would advise you to have a look at the website Immigration Québec, Québec Immigration, and also Citizenship and Immigration Canada. This will give you right insights about immigration.
Okay, I have a cat, Garfield.
Meu gatinho.
I have a question about the Java developers in the beginning of their career, like juniors, intermediate, and seniors. Have a chance to get in a job in Canada.
Maybe if I can jump. As I told earlier, there's a lot of university in Montreal. So on the market, I don't. Maybe Gabriel can add to what I will say, but there's plenty of junior talent on the market because of the good university. So maybe what I can suggest to you is maybe to immigrate to Montreal through a master. Maybe if you can do a master, in one of this university, and then you can have a permit after your study to stay in Montreal. But as a junior, it's quite tough for a company to recruit abroad when you can have local talent. So, Gabriel, I don't know if you're...
No, Charles, it's exactly that. We have great talent, great university. So junior developers or junior X companies will go, of course, with local talent. But for sure, once you've got already 3-4 years under your belt, then it gets interested for everybody. So I think Charles made it a good point. Or you do a master here, and then you get through local talent, or you do a 3-4 year in Brazil, and then after that you can apply. It will increase your chance immensely. Yeah,
and in fact, it's a case of most companies that recruit with us. When we do international recruitment, like they tell us, we are looking for mid or senior talent, but we don't hire juniors. We can't justify it on an immigration point of view.
There are another question from Fernando Angeline about the quality assurance area. Do you have some opportunities over here?
I can answer, but you guys can answer. QA, especially automation, is very much in demand. So the Selenium, Robo Framework, and so on, it is very much in demand. So not manual QA, but automation QA.
You guys?
Yeah, from our perspective, when we organize recruitment events, we've got some QA job offers that usually pop. So yeah.
Okay, I think that I have the last question. Okay, and that's it. Could you give me advice on how to get prepared for those who are looking for opportunity in Montreal or Aztec?
Maybe if I can jump first, as I show on our website, there's plenty of content to help yourself, like your CV. We made an article how to make a CV for a Montreal company. So this is one of the first steps is to adjust your CV with like the Montreal style, if I can say. And another thing is maybe to have to read other articles to how to adjust yourself in the interview, because if I can give you an example, when we did a recruitment event in Mexico, and Mexican people didn't want to how can I say, Cyril? They don't want to brag about their portfolio. They don't want to brag about their skills. But with Montreal company, you can tell them the reality, and you can show them that you are good in this and this and this. So don't be shy about like the competence that you have. So it's a good advice, because I see in a lot of Latin America interview that I saw that people don't want to brag about themselves, but you have to go. Yeah. I don't know if Cyril and Gabriel, you have other advice about.
No, I was good, Charles. I would say also to prepare.
Yeah.
Don't be good in anything, in everything. Like I'm good at Java, good at C#, good at Golang. Impossible. So we look for range, broad range, but I would say one thing is be clear in your head what you want to do. Okay. So I had people that say, well, I'm a business analyst, but I can do project management and change management. Okay. So it doesn't help us because we don't. It's like we're trying to do everything. So know what you want to do, and the right offer will come in. That's one good advice. The rest is just pure interview tricks that are available anywhere.
Oh, I have one question from a friend in the WhatsApp. She sent me. That's gonna be hard, I guess. Okay, let me just take out this one. Okay, she's from. She has used to have two experience in Brazil as a mainframe developer and business analyst. Okay, and she came over here because his husband is studying in a college. She has open visa. Okay, and she is asking why it's so hard to find some mainframe position over here. If you have some positions like Montreal International, sometimes in some recruitment that you have, and because I've seen that many banks and many insurance company use mainframe over here, and the people from mainframe are getting old, and so they are going to retire. And I would like to know if
I can answer that if you want, Shalin and then Sienna, and you guys can pipe in.
Yes, yourself.
So yeah. So with no mainframe, there's no banking, there's no big system, right? So mainframe is still very much at the heart of some of our business. It is being rewritten. Yeah, we know it is. It's being replaced, but it's still very much there. What we see, okay, is we see more not from, like, we see a lot of companies looking to hire employees. Mainframe, not the consulting firm like what we do here at Aztec, but some of our clients in the financial sectors. We see we know that they're looking for mainframe because of the ageism of our current workforce. So it'll be my pleasure to point you in the right direction. If you're in Montreal, that I can do, no problem.
Okay, that's it. I would like to say thanks for you guys. Thanks for opportunity to be in my channel. I started this channel to help the people because people frequently call me and, oh man, how you do that? And to explain me about some subject. And I decided to don't spend with many people in the call, like 2 or 3 hours with 3 different people. I just had this idea to start this channel to share some knowledge, to spread some knowledge that I have, and I invite some friends that I know because I have a good networking with some people, and I invite some people to talk here and share some about some subjects. Sometimes I would like to appreciate your help, Gabriel, Charles, and Cyril. And when this end, we can drink some beer.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. Muito obrigado, Juan.
Uma caipirinha.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Montreal. Thanks, Alan. Thanks,
Merci beaucoup, Gabriel.